Hello everybody and welcome to the Reds Army. This is where we talk about anything and everything about Manchester United. So, INEOS just announced that they are going to lay off another 200 people in addition to the 250 they laid off last year in a bid to try and free some funds and avoid financial mismanagement, according to the CEO Omar Berrada. So, this is what we're going to talk about in this video. We're also going to talk about Rasmus Højlund and why we believe that some coaches are actually losing patience with him, and will it be the time for him to leave during summer? We'll talk about that. We'll also look at Rashford. Will he ever come back to Man United? I've covered this in another video, but I'm going to roughly I'm just going to go through the topic quickly so that at least I can answer some questions that were raised in my previous video. So let's get started. INEOS just announced that they are going to lay off another 200 people. They have made 200 more positions at Manchester United redundant, meaning these 200 people are no longer needed at Man United. Now remember, Man United had 1,140 employees before INEOS took over. Now they have already cut down 250 people. They are going to cut down 200 more people, which is going to leave the current employees at Man United at around 700 people, from 1,140 down to 700 people. And this might not be the end of it, since if you remember very well, last December, Sir Jim Ratcliffe said that the management or the INEOS group is going to make some very unpopular decisions that will not go down very well with Man United fans. And this is what he was talking about. He needed to let go of some people from Man United whom they feel like are no longer needed, or the club can function without them. So this is sad, actually. This is very sad news, since we are Manchester United, meaning we should be helping the people who have been with the club for a very long time, okay? We are a family, we should be taking care of each other. But right now, they have managed to turn what was once a family thing. We had a bond as a family, Man United family. They have turned it into a corporate that doesn't care about people's well-being and whether people actually need help or not. To them, it's about the balance sheet. Does it balance? Then they are leaning more towards the profit. Does it balance well towards the profit? Now, according to INEOS, they might justify this by saying that they want to free funds and to ensure that the club can have more money. They are saying that the club is operating at a loss. We have been losing money for the last 5 years consecutively, which has amounted to over 370 million euros. That's the amount of money that Man United has managed to lose in the last 5 years. So this is actually very sad, given that last week alone they announced that we lost 27.7 million in our second quarter in this financial year. So that can tell you that there is no way that we are going to come out of debt, or we are going to be in the profit zone, unless something is done. But is laying off 450 people the right move? Now listen, 450 people cannot actually be responsible for 370 million euros that have been lost by Manchester United. They are not the ones who are responsible. We know who is responsible. We know that INEOS has been responsible for the mess that has been experienced at Manchester United, and making other people pay for the mess that was caused by other people, that is pure evil. It's pure evil. We say that Man United right now, since we want to comply with PSR, we need to sell in order to buy. And there's a video actually made where I try to explain that we can only sell 4 players or 5 players, and then we can raise over 160 million euros, close to 200 million, and then we can reinvest this money in buying more players, especially the young players, since it seems that that's the direction that INEOS is taking. Buy the young players when they're still young, nurture them, and then hopefully one day they will explode and actually be good for Manchester United. Then if that's the process, then I actually trust the process, because I believe right now we have tried the Galactical way. We have tried going out there and buying big name players, but they have come to Man United and they have flopped. Look at Angel Di Maria. Look at Memphis Depay. Okay, look at Cavani. Okay, Cavani actually performed well, but not as much as we would have hoped he would perform. The only anomaly there is Ibrahimovic. I mean, Zlatan Ibrahimovic is an animal of his own. Okay, now look at Martial. Martial actually was bought on a promise that he will be like Thierry Henry. Thierry Henry even himself claimed that Martial is his heir. He is going to take up after him. You look at what happened to Martial. Martial is gone from Man United. He is not the person we thought he would be. Now look at Sancho right now. The situation with Sancho is complicated, toxic. We cannot be able to bring him back, and I don't think that people would Man United fans will be actually eager to see Sancho return to Man United. The next thing they need to do, if Chelsea are not going to buy him, we need to sell him back to Dortmund or to another club in Europe that might be interested in him. Now, I came here and I said, we can sell Rasmus Højlund, we can sell Zirkzee, we can sell Casemiro for 12 million euros, I remember, and we could sell, who else was on the list? There was Rasmus Højlund, there was Zirkzee, because those two guys are actually flopping at Man United. There was Casemiro. There was another player, I think it was, no, not Garnacho. I wasn't interested in selling Garnacho. But there was a player I mentioned, I can't remember, I need to refer back to the video, I'm sorry about that. But I remember I did the calculation based on their current market value, and we saw that we could get around 160 to 200 million euros if we sold those players. There were like 5 of them. Okay, yeah, there was Rashford, I remember. So there is Sancho again. So let's start over. There's Rasmus Højlund, Zirkzee, Casemiro, Sancho. Then we sell Rashford, because even Rashford's situation is complicated. I don't think he's going to come back to Man United. I made a video yesterday diving deep into this, looking at why Rashford might not come to Man United, and if he decides in the future that he wants to return to Man United. I also explained why, and certain situations need to change. Okay, so you can check out that video in the channel. It's there. So if INEOS really wanted to raise money to buy new players, laying off 450 people is not an ideal approach. Right now we have dead stock, players who are not giving us 100%. They are still on Man United checkbook. They need to be let go. We need to release them so that at least we can sell them. Look at somebody like Casemiro. He's on a 300,000 euros a week. Look at that. Look at those wages. That's a lot of money. The 300,000, that's 1.2 million euros in a month. That money can actually go a very long way to pay for 150 people who have just been laid off by Manchester United. So it's crazy how one person's salary, monthly salary, can cover over 100 people's monthly salary. Can you believe that? Now, if we let go of such players like Casemiro, who is actually past his prime, there's no doubt about that. If we let go of Højlund, who is actually not giving us 100%, he's not fitting into the team as well as he would fit based on his skills and his abilities. Look at Zirkzee. He's lost at Manchester United. If we sold these 3 players and then we add in Rashford, given that Rashford doesn't want to come, and there is an agreement between Man United and Aston Villa that at the end of the season, if they are impressed, they can buy Rashford for 40 million. Okay, so there is that. He might go for 40 million. There is no way they would put a price on Rashford if the decision for him to leave permanently wasn't discussed during the negotiation. So it was discussed, and there is a possibility he may not come back to Man United. I also explained in that video where I think he's more likely to go after Aston Villa. Okay, look at Sancho. He's a flop at Man United, still taking money from Man United. He's here just making fun of us. You know, he's not the ideal type of a player that we need at Man United. So if we sold these 5 players, I'm pretty sure we would not need to lay off 450 people. I mean, times are hard right now. The economy is in the toilet, and once you lose your employment, that's the worst thing can happen to any person, especially men who are the sole caretakers of their families, sole breadwinners. You know, this is it's horror. It's horrific. It's a nightmare for those people. You cannot believe what they are going through. and the pressure they are going through, the stress, no, actually they made a mistake. They didn't need to lay off 450 people. They just needed to sell 5 players, bring in a few players, young players who we are going to nurture, and then talk to us and tell us, you see what we are doing, we are building a team of young individuals who we believe will be best suited for Man United in the future. So be prepared, we are going to suffer in the next 2 seasons until these players can actually mature and hit their prime. And I'm pretty sure Man United fans will be like, yeah, actually we can live with that as long as there is progress. As long as there is progress. We don't just want any more words. I mean, we are done with words. We have been spoon-fed words since the Glazers took over Man United. Since the times of Mourinho, we have been fed words and words. Oh, we're going to improve this, we're going to, I mean, nothing is happening. Now we need action, we need direction, we need people to actually implement the plans, something we can see, something tangible. Okay, so if we sold those 5 players, we can get some really good replacements. Because if you, let's go through all these players, I'm pretty sure there are people in the comment section who believe some of these players should not be sold. If you're one of them, kindly please comment and tell us why you think one of these players, whom I've mentioned, should not be sold and should be at Man United next season. Let's go through Rasmus Højlund. We bought him since we were looking for a number 9, a traditional number 9. I mean, people saw him and thought of Haaland of Manchester City. We thought of Haaland, but the difference on the pitch is actually remarkable. He's not actually performing very well for us. We are actually not scoring as many goals as we would love to. Most of our goals are actually coming from our wingers. Okay, Ahmad before he was injured. Most of our goals are coming from areas we don't even actually expect goals to come from. Look at the last time we played Everton. Ugarte scored. We didn't expect him to score, but he scored. Okay, now he's supposed to be our striker, but he's actually not scoring any goals. Look at Zaxi. Zaxi is lost at Man United. He doesn't have any identity. He's not actually commanding any respect, and he's not actually stepping up to any challenges. So you tell me, give me one reason why Højlund and Zaxi should remain at Man United. Okay, now let's look at Casemiro. Casemiro is actually old right now. He's not the same Casemiro who was at Real Madrid. Okay, and right now, if we sold him right now to Saudi, we can get 12 million euros for him. Okay, 12 million euros. All right, you give me another reason why you think Casemiro should stay at Man United. Okay, let's look at Rashford. Rashford left Man United. He's a Man United boy through and through, but things happen, and so most of the things don't go according to plan. You and I know that very well. So he is now enjoying football at Aston Villa. He's playing not the same way he used to play when he was at his prime, but he's actually playing with a bit of confidence and a smile on his face. So this is somebody who is actually loving the environment there more than he did at Man United. Now, let's say he goes there and he regains his form, and he decides he doesn't want to come to Man United since him and Amorim had a falling out. Now, you give me a reason why he should come. Then maybe you can tell me we should fire Amorim then. Then if we fire Amorim, who do you think should be taking over at Man United as a manager? Let me know in the comment section. Okay, now let's look at Sancho. Sancho, ever since he came to Man United, he has never actually lived up to his full potential. The same Sancho who was at BVB is not the Sancho that we have today. Those are 2 different Sanchos, okay? He even made it a big deal. Listen, this is a man who was given some time off by Erik ten Hag when he was going through personal issues. But when he came back, he didn't give 100%. And when the manager calls him out, he's angry. Then there's an outburst, social media outburst. And you wonder, why are you taking this all this way? These are things that needed to be solved between two men who had issues with each other. They needed to sit down and solve the issues together. But look at him, what he did. He chose the other way, and it cost him Man United's position, and he had to go to Chelsea on loan. And even there, he's actually flopping. So you give me a good reason why Sancho should be coming back to Man United. Those are 5 players whom I believe if we let go from Man United, we won't actually be losing much, because right now they're actually not giving us 100%. Rashford is not at Man United, so he's not scoring goals for us. Sancho is not there, he's not scoring goals for us. Casemiro is at Man United, he's not giving us 100%. Rasmus Højlund is not scoring goals. Zaxi is not scoring goals. You tell me, why should they stay at Man United? Why do they have to stay while 450 people have to go? You tell me that. Try and convince me that. So, let's talk about Højlund now that we're in the topic of players who are underperforming. Actually, I was reading an article here from 90 Minutes. It says that Man United coach staff losing patience with struggling striker. It's very clear that Rasmus is struggling this season, completely struggling. He has scored only 2 goals. He has scored only 2 goals this season. Last season, when he made a debut season, his debut season, he scored 16 goals. So you can see the difference. The 22-year-old hasn't had an easy ride at United since a 64 million euro transfer, which has a potential of raising to 72 million euros from Atlanta. So this is a guy we paid top dollars for, and actually he is not scoring goals. So I can't blame Rasmus for the bad season that we are having, since everybody is not pulling their weight. But I can tell you, Rasmus Højlund should be at least scoring more than 2 goals in one season. That's a Manchester United striker. And as a Manchester United striker, you should be scoring more than 2 goals in a season. Okay, even Rashford, when he was having a bad season, Rashford is not a striker, but he is an attacker, but he scored more than 2 goals in a season. Rasmus hasn't scored in any other tournament. He hasn't scored in the in the Europa League. He hasn't scored in the FA Cup. He didn't even score in Carabao. And you wonder, why is he still at Man United? But let's be fair, okay? Strikers like Rasmus Højlund have to score goals. These are poachers. They have to be fed. They have to be fed killer passes so they can score goals. They need to be fed good football. They need to be fed good passes so that they can score goals. They are not being fed these good passes. So our midfield is actually very, very reluctant. It's not actually, there are no assists coming from our midfield at all. Rashford is I'm sorry about Rashford. Bruno Fernandes is trying so much, but still he's not the same Bruno Fernandes we had and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But there's something very interesting. Ruben Amorim is interested in Victor Gyökeres. I don't know how to pronounce him, but I'm pretty sure you know about him. And but there's a problem. He's at Sporting Lisbon, and actually Amorim turned this young player into a goal scoring machine, so he wants to reunite with his former striker. But there's a problem. There's an 83 million euros release clause. This is the money that we have to pay to get this guy. And remember, we have 2 strikers who are actually not performing for us, and when we sell the 2 of them, we're going to get like 100 million. So if we can sell 2 of them, get 100 million, get Victor Gyökeres, yeah, we get him. I think, and again, that's a huge gamble, because every player we have gone for as Man United has actually flopped. Not many have actually lived up to the expectations. So you can imagine if we let go of 2 strikers and then get 1 in return, and then this striker doesn't go on and perform as we expected, that will be a waste of a season. Okay, now you tell me, between Victor Gyökeres, and Osimhen, who would you want at Man United, and why? Why do you think? Why would you think that player that you picked is best suited for Man United than the other player? Okay, let me know in the comment section. So I don't know what will happen with Rasmus Højlund, especially right now that news are coming from the dressing room that the coaches are not actually happy with his performances. So this is actually these are bells, these are ringing bells that it's just a matter of time before we see Rasmus Højlund up for sale, and that it might happen during summer. Okay, so one thing I know about INEOS is that they don't hesitate to make such decisions. You can see what happened with Dan Ashworth. With the moment he was fired, nobody saw that coming. Okay, so let me know in the comment section, do you think Rasmus should stay at Man United? Do you think he should be sold? And if we sold Rasmus, who do you want us to bring to Man United? Don't limit yourself to Osimhen and Gyökeres. Just mention any player in the comment section, and I'll do my best to reply. So let's move on to Rashford. Well, Rashford is actually playing football. He's not playing good football, but he's playing football. Remember, at Man United, he wasn't getting minutes, and as football players, you need minutes so that you can rediscover your form. So if he stays at Aston Villa until the end of the season, and maybe he want to extend his stay there, I won't blame him, because there's little pressure at Aston Villa compared to Man United, and especially right now that Man United is in transition. We don't have an identity, we don't have any foundation, so it's difficult for players like Marcus Rashford to come to Man United, especially when they themselves are going through personal issues and personal problems. So I think that environment at Aston Villa would fit him very well, and I really do hope and I wish him the best. So what about the 450 people who were actually fired? And I think INEOS and the Glazers don't understand the model of football. I mean, they are clearly after money. They are clearly after generating a lot of money, but they are forgetting that for a club to be valuable and for a club to actually help you generate money, it needs to be performing well on the pitch. Okay, it needs to be winning matches. It needs to be in competitions and need to be in big tournaments. Like for instance, we should be competing for the Premier League. We are actually nowhere near even the Champions League spots, even the Europa League, or even the Conference League spots. Okay, we should be in the Champions League. Yes, this is Manchester United. It's non-negotiable. We should be in the Champions League. We should be actually be competing in Champions League competitively, not just being there, but competitively. We should be very competitive in the Champions League. Actually, we should be winning lots of matches, so that at least we can attract sponsors and our shares will actually skyrocket. But the owners that we have right now don't understand this. They don't understand this. They think that Man United or any other football club is just any other business. They're forgetting that these businesses are nothing without football. Okay? If the team is not performing, look at what happened to Newcastle United. At one time, they were Man United's biggest rivals. Actually, they were winning trophies. They are even competing in the Champions League. Look at them right now. People forgot about football. And when you forget about football, everything else around the club starts to crumble down, and that's what is happening at Man United. They're forgetting football, then everything now it's coming down. It's coming down heavily. Now they are trying to support all these things to ensure they don't crumble down, but they're forgetting the heart of the club, which is football. They need to give us good football. They need to give us the old Manchester United back. They need to invest in players. They need to invest in good management. They need to ensure they support the manager 100%. Okay? They need to shield the manager. They need to make sure the manager feels special. They need to empower the manager so that players don't turn on the managers. But they're not doing that. Instead, they are going out there laying off 450 people. Now, you tell me, what has these 450 people have to do with the Manchester United's poor performances? You're saying it's about cutting costs and reducing losses. Well, have you checked the way Manchester United is playing football lately? That money, the money that you're chasing for, we can easily get it when we compete in the Champions League. The money you're chasing after, we can easily get it if Man United finish in top 4. You are clearly misplacing your priorities, and it's not going to work. It's actually going to backfire on you, and it will get to a point where you cannot save this club anymore, and you will have ruined what was once a giant of Europe, and that will be on you. That will be on you. You're not listening to people. You're doing what you want. These people, the fans that you are ignoring, have been around for a very long time, and I'm pretty sure they understand Manchester United better than you. Maybe you have some insider information from backroom there, from the executives and everything, but when it comes to Man United, I think we understand it better than our current owners, INEOS and the Glazers. And unfortunately, they are not listening to us, and they are actually ruining our club. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and if you are new here, kindly take a second to subscribe. I really appreciate the effort. I appreciate the support coming from you guys. I appreciate everything, and I do hope that we can continue engaging so that I can keep on bringing you such news. And if you love our video today, let me know in the comment section. And also let me know where you're watching this video from, and take care, and I'll see you in the next video.